My name's Richard Starkins. I attended Peninsula School from 1967 to 1969. I was in Country House, which they split houses, then became Shore House.
Hi, it's Alan Kemp, and I started in 1961, so that took me through to the end of 1967. The house I was in was country.
My name is Neil. My middle name is Brook, and I go by my second name. I started here in 1962. My class year I left in 1967. My house was originally town and then became Newton.
My name is Richard Stockdale. My class year was 1965, I believe. I began at the end of what was then third form, which was year 9, and went through to matriculation, which was year 12. The house was country.
When I look back as to what inspired my parents to send me here, what they were trying to do, Mum and Dad, was trying to cut me out in a constructive sense and try and just raise the bar.
Memorable teachers, masters and staff members. You could go on ad infinitum on that one. First of all, the late great Dudley Clark, first headmaster. Wonderful man, visionary, musician, poet, writer, great teacher, great educator. His vision to create this place from nothing was quite extraordinary.
Bramall I remember fondly. In fact, all the teachers here I remember fondly. Neil Chappell, Mr Taylor, and a little chap we had, Perrott.
All of the teachers at Peninsula were memorable people. All of them made a contribution to whom I became. Teachers that sort of had the most influence on my future life would have been Stephen Longley and David Bramall.
Bruce Clark was the first chaplain of the school and deputy headmaster. Bruce was an extraordinary man, loved by everybody, and who put his heart and soul into the boys and actually their well-being. Ken McGarvin, wonderful bloke, great swimming coach. And from a personal point of view would be a fellow called Don Cowie. He was the music master. He imparted in me anyway a love for opera. There are so many others, Neil Chappell, Ted Hawke, Jim Stanhope, a lot of those early teachers who had to do a lot of things other than teach. They were coaches of sport, leaders of men. So lovely people. And of course, and I must put in one more, Wally Riley, who was the foundation curator of the grounds here and is largely responsible for what's here now, especially the ovals.
Straight away you're in awe of all of them. Doug Stainer was our science master, so he was a kind of a traditional, he's like Einstein, so he inspired me a lot. There's a happy snap there at Form 1 of Chris Winbanks on one side of Doug Stainer and young Allen's on the other side. He did have this kind of awe of again, a fairly firm science master. We had Bob Brewster, who was a wonderful guy, Form 1, Form 2. That's years 7 and 8. We had David Bramall. He was just solid, consistent, you could rely on him, and he always encouraged everybody, no matter where you finished academically or on the athletics field particularly, because we had standard aths back in the day. And the fourth master was Reverend Bruce Clark, of course, and everyone knows he's the standout, soft, kind, compassionate man, very, very kind. I'm sure he helped a lot of people on. He certainly helped me a little bit at times, so. Yeah, it was a great school, yeah.
On the last day of school every year, the school used to go holus bolus to Point Leo for a day down the beach and a picnic. And I remember that in between year 11 and year 12, our teacher was, our class teacher was Doug Stainer, and he, on that final day, he decided that we would start the year 12 curriculum. So we all sat in the class and he began the year 12 curriculum. Now, he had his back to the area where the buses were coming to pick the students up, but we could all see it. And we kept on saying to him, the buses are here, and he'd say, don't worry about it, they won't go without us. And the kids are getting on the bus, don't worry about it, the buses won't go without us. But they did.
Well, certainly Lockie Gibb at the start Lockie was my closest friend for, say, 5 years. We had Nigel Press, we certainly had Peter Kelly from Mornington. He was probably my closest friend, Peter. Sorry, I forgot John Gilchrist, and we're having lunch with John today. Sorry, I forgot you, John, if this stays in.
My closest peers, a fellow called Paul Hurst. Paul went on to become probably the first old boy to play league football for Carlton, and in fact was in a premiership side for that group. Lockie Gibb, Warwick Barton, who became a solicitor and was a great-grandson of the first Prime Minister of this country. Still see Warwick from time to time. Tony Austin, Bob Arthur, Coughlin, who was also in the boarding house, Rob Williams. Look, the list goes on.
My closest peers at school, there were 4 of us. There was Rodney Brennan, Bill Grant and Richard Ledger. There were 4 of us who were quite close together because I think we'd been at the school the longest. That's not to say that we didn't have other friends, Roger Reid, Barry Lawton, Roger Holmes, the 2 Wallace brothers. The class was quite a friendly class.
I remember that as if it was yesterday, and I remember the Sunday morning when news spread out to the community that 3 lads were killed in a car accident, all students from Peninsula. My son didn't come home that night. He stayed at a friend's place, so that was alarmingly for my wife and I. I then contacted the headmaster and I said, we've got to turn this into a positive. No one wrote a manual on how a headmaster's meant to handle 3 boys being killed in a senseless accident, which it was. So we did turn it into a positive. They have class prizes for the 3 deceased boys, and we have a scholarship which I proudly give out every year. It's probably one of the biggest contributions I've made, well, the only contribution I've made to the school, which I love. I look forward to it annually.
I did achieve quite a few things at the school. Just remembering though that it's a very small pond. I do have the distinction, I think, of being ducks at the school 3 times, and for 3 years in a row I did win the prize for service to the school, which was the equivalent of being the head prefect. But I was really only the head prefect once.
I'm still connected to the school, very heavily involved in the old boys football side, the school sailing side, and also my mum and dad are buried in the chapel rose garden. So it's a very special place.
Yeah, how do I celebrate or stay connected to the school? Well, Bob Arthur, young Bob, happened to get involved and send out emails to people, and somehow he got my email. He said, "Are you coming to the 50th reunion?" I go, 50th? I'm up in Brisbane. Okay, sorry, I can't make it that time. And then I went to the next one, which was 2016. And yeah, I had a really good time. So we catch up now. Bob Arthur's still got a group up in town, and so we go out for coffee and or pizza. And we're only just together last week. 30% of it covers school times, perhaps, as much as that, I'd say. So there's that common connection there. And yeah, we had a jolly good chat last week. Oh, that's a hard one, because I have been thinking about what foundation means to me. For me, it's a kind of a sense of pride. The older you get, the more sentimental you get, so I'm kind of like mushy peas a bit now with regard to my feeling for the school. And I just saw someone wearing a school uniform in town where I was working, and that kind of goes bing. It was one of those sort of moments I go, oh, wow, okay. That's my old school, that's my alma mater, you know. So there was that sentimental sort of feeling certainly towards the school, towards the colours, yeah, and towards everything about it actually. It just brought back a flood of memories and so on and so forth.
Foundation Day is reflecting on the school's history, but also when it was founded, and the founding headmaster and the teachers at that time, how they managed to teach the students with what they had. It's amazing where the school's come from. It's the journey's been massive.
You've got to celebrate the start. It's a celebration of the wonderful people that had the vision to start this place and to continue on with it, building it to what it is today. It's making sure that we honour those people.
Oh, well, the school's growth and development has just been amazing. Everyone's just so engaged. Everyone's working hard. That reflects very well on the people who are running it now.
It's a fantastic school. Give it all you got. Don't go in by halves. Give it all you've got. If you've got some talent, fan that. Get the teacher to fan that coal and get those fires going and take it. Grip it with both hands. It's a fabulous opportunity that you actually have here at this school. The grounds are superb, but I'm an old coot. Grounds aren't as significant as your own attitude to what you're doing and what you're enjoying.
My advice to students is every morning your eyes blink open, grab the opportunity with both hands and make the most of it.
Do what you love what you do. I've been very fortunate that all of my many careers I've really enjoyed. To try and live a balanced life, to try and live a balance between work and family. I think that's more important than, we concentrated, I think, too much on our career in my lifetime, and I think the current generations do have a more balanced work-life type arrangement these days, and I think that's good.
The school motto, holding fast to all that is good. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, and when you're given responsibility, use it and grasp it.